a 95-minute long nightmare that makes all other horror remakes look great by comparison. My Bloody Valentine 2009, a guilty pleasure of mine in all honesty. The Friday the 13th 2009 remake that wasn't great, but by God seemed like Citizen Kane compared to this. Hell, even the 1998 version of Psycho. This saw Vince Vaughn take on the character of Norman Bates and shit all over the legacy that Anthony Perkins created by making that character so goddamn iconic. And I've never forgiven Vince Vaughn for that, but the Psycho remake was better than this. Do you know how fucking incompetent you have to be? How spectacularly bad you have to be at every aspect of filmmaking to make me praise the 1998 version of Psycho? Fucking goddamn hell, this movie was shit. Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 was directed by Samuel Bayer, and of course this is a remake of the 1984 original directed by Wes Craven. Samuel has done a ton of music videos. Some music videos I liked, and man, everybody has their niche, and he really should have stuck to music videos. Nothing wrong with trying to break into filmmaking, but fucking hell, this movie is doomed from the goddamn start. Jackie Earle Haley plays Freddy. There was no way he was going to be able to even hold a candle or even a lighter or even be within spitting distance of the worst and most phoned-in Robert Englund performance. God damn, this was so fucking bad. I don't know what Wes Craven thought of this. If he liked it, maybe he was just trying to make everybody on the production staff feel better. This movie was doomed from the start, namely because producer Michael Bay was involved, and Michael Bay was bound and determined to get his explosion-filled, grubby little hands on every goddamn horror franchise and pummel it into the motherfucking dirt. I fucking goddamn hate Michael Bay because of that. So yeah, this had Rooney Mara in it, and I love Rooney Mara. She's done some great, films. Had Clancy Brown, Connie Britton, who was in American Horror Story. There was a good cast here. There was potential. And you know what they basically did? The producers, I swear, sat down and basically said, okay, we're going to remake A Nightmare on Elm Street, but we want to make it worse than the Friday the 13th 2009 movie. And people that are listening to them are like, well, that movie wasn't all that good. How are we going to make it worse? Why don't we try to make it better? Well, I know what we're going to do. Instead of making it where just Freddy haunts people in their dreams and we get life and energy to these characters and we have a whole bunch of great stuff, let's just make it a series of dream sequences, add some really bad special effects, like a classroom burning down or whatever, like a freaking bomb just went off, and let's have really, really stock characters. Let's make Rooney Mara, just a goddamn, paper-thin character. Let's make Freddy look like he just had bad skin grafts put on him. Let's have him have a few one-liners that are delivered with all the goddamn conviction of somebody that's being held at gunpoint just off camera. And let's just make the writing really goddamn bad. Let's have two people write the goddamn movie. Let's have, a guy write the screenplay and the story. Let's not consult Wes Craven and get any intelligence out of this. Let's just make it a cash grab. And that's what it fucking was. Basically what I'm saying is this movie isn't fucking good. Did you fucking get that already? It isn't any fucking good. Anyway, the opening credits had kids playing, and they were all singing and everything, and we had these news articles and stuff like that, because Freddy, of course, was all over the goddamn news as being a guy that had knives for fingers and spoopiness, and 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, 3, 4, shut the store, actually, you know what, they should have shut the goddamn store. They should have shut wherever they goddamn filmed this thing. They should have shut the goddamn diner down, shut every goddamn thing down. But, of course, they shut the door. They should have shut the door on the goddamn production of this thing. But anyway, we focus on this character of Dean, who's having a nightmare, and then he wakes up just in time and is talking to a girlfriend, Chris. He hasn't slept, and he's like, well, I can sleep, I just don't want to, because of Freddy. And I feel so bad for Jackie Earle Haley. I really do, because you can see he's trying. He really is. But they were like, hey, watch like these clips of Freddy, and then you have one take to get this shit right. Because the editing was so goddamn bad. Like, the editing in Freddy vs. Jason was somehow better. Rey Mysterio as fucking Freddy Krueger, yes, look it up. He did stunt work for Freddy Krueger. Was, way better than anything in this goddamn movie. May have to retro-review Freddy vs. Jason sometime. But we then flash over to this table, this guy Quentin, who was one of the guys in Jennifer's Body, by the way. Okay, he was one of the guys in the cast of Jennifer's Body, not inside Jennifer's Body, even though Megan Fox at that time, anyway, would have preferred Amanda Seyfried or Seyfried. Moving on, I did a retro review of that, check that out. Him and his friends are talking to Nancy, because we need to, of course, make it more on the nose that we're doing a remake of this, because of the Nancy in the goddamn original. Now, with this, Rooney Mara plays Nancy. She is a waitress. Quentin obviously likes her. And he's talking to her, and you know what? It seems like these two crazy kids will fall in love. It's also kind of hilarious that they're playing teens and they're in their mid-20s. But whatever, that's been happening in slashers for a while. So, Dean has a nightmare while he's talking to Chris, because he hasn't been awake for a while, or he hasn't been asleep for a while, and while she's in the bathroom, he basically has a nightmare where Freddy's trying to get him, he's trying to get a knife to stab at Freddy or whatever. And he ends up cutting his own neck or whatever. I guess the gratuity included the blood of the innocent or the blood of the idiots. Actually, the blood of the idiots probably would have been a whole lot better to use. And he dies. And nothing of value was lost because nobody cared about that character. And then Chris is at the funeral. She sees a slash girl in a blue dress. Why the hell would she see that? What the hell's going on? And her mother says, hey, it's time to go. And, well, she ends up talking to Nancy. She ends up talking to various other people or whatever. I've seen this stuff. No, you haven't seen anything. So obviously there's this weird, undercurrent of like, what the fuck's going on? Why is Freddy stalking these kids? Obviously he must just be somebody that's, that was a terrible person that got burned and died and is now haunting kids in their dreams. No, they're trying to go with a different route and make him a sympathetic character. No, really, they try to do that and then they deviate. Psych! We already got you fuckers to pay for this and we're just going to make it obvious that, oh yeah, this is just a red herring, and not even a good red herring. It's a dead red herring that's been dead on the goddamn cage floor for like a goddamn month and it's starting to goddamn smell. Take the herring out. Why the fuck don't you do anything around here, you goddamn kids? Anyway, suddenly, Freddy Frightener. Seriously, it kind of looked like the Frightener special effects. Only worse. The Frighteners came out in 1996. This came out in 2010. He looks like shit. The special effects look like shit. I'm not even knocking the crew. It looks terrible. And basically, it's just a collection of scare scenes and dream sequences. And what was so fucking bad about this is, like, they could have made this at least somewhat comedic. You should have just gone full dark comedy here. It had no life, no energy to it. Chris, she's suddenly haunted by Freddy and also by jump scares and bad exposition and bad memories and stuff like that. And she has a dream where she goes up in the attic and takes about 18 years to find all these heirlooms and everything, these photos and this doll and this weird dress that has slash marks on it, like the girl she saw. It couldn't possibly be Chris. No, why would you think that? The parents couldn't be hiding anything from the kids. The kids aren't very smart. Remember me? Not hello, Sydney. It's just Freddy doing that. And every teen can't sleep, or they'll die of boredom. Like I almost died of boredom rewatching this. So Chris falls asleep in class, and then it looks like a freaking bomb went off, and everything is just burned and torched. It's like, yeah, I scream a lot when I'm in school too, or when I was in school, because that's been a while. And then Chris's mom has to fly to London. Well, that's convenient. Suddenly she starts to lose her mind. The 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, 3, 4, shut the door thing. That was shoehorned in like just about every other reference here. She gets this guy, Jesse, to stay with her. And then during the night, she has extreme sleep parkour where she's flopping all over the goddamn ceiling. And then they do the slash thing and she falls on the bed. Now, here's the thing. Some of these deaths would have actually been pretty cool had we cared about any of these characters and had the editing not been shit, and had the filmmaking not been shit, and had everything in this movie not been shit. So, Jesse panics and finds Nancy. He's got blood all over him. So what the hell is going on? Well, if you die in your dreams, you die for real. God, boy, how I envy anybody that didn't have to watch the rest of this. And then he gets jailed and does a one-act play in jail. He's saying, stay up, doing all this stuff and hitting himself in the head. And then Quentin does research. Half of this movie was goddamn research on sleep deprivation. And he sleeps while Jesse is freed from jail and then journeys to the nearby boiler room, as one jail always has. Oh, wait. It's like, what? No, that's not where he should be. He should be out of jail. It's like, why are you screaming? I haven't even stabbed you yet. Oh, God, just... The guy was Jackie Earle Haley was fucking doomed. He was so fucking doomed in this. And then he gets killed. Why did the dialogue and why so many of the characters seem like they were, brought in from like completely different planets or completely different planes of existence? Seriously, sometimes the dialogue seemed really badly dubbed in, like it was a rush job. So the parents basically hid from their kids that they were at this preschool and they were all tortured by Freddy, or everything. Or maybe they weren't. Maybe Freddy was a scapegoat. Maybe there was an actual goat that had knives on his hooves and did that kind of stuff. Or knives on its horns. I would have watched that. I would have watched a goat with knives on its goddamn horns doing that shit. That would have been funny. I would have watched that. It would have been like Goat Simulator, the horror version. So, Cassie then, she's basically just talking about she's like trying to figure out all this stuff, what the hell is going on, and she gets haunted by Freddy. You don't remember me? You should. You were my little Nancy. Like, gross. And then more research. Hey, they're all connected to the school. And then he was the gardener, and Nancy's mother proceeds to tell. Connie Britton was so fucking wasted in this. I mean, she might have actually been legit wasted in this, but it's like, seriously, take a look at the first season of American Horror Story. She was great in that. Her talents, everybody's talents in this movie were wasted. Rooney Mara has had a hell of a goddamn career despite what could have been a career-killing movie. Because this was really bad. He was a gardener. He lived in the basement, but he was the creepy kind, where he had a secret cave that he took the kids to. We get to see that later. He left before we could confront him, except he didn't, because we find out later. More research, great. Just what I wanted to see is more goddamn research about sleep deprivation. And hey, maybe they can get an acting for dummies thing going. So all the kids are dead. All my friends are dead. I reviewed that earlier this year. Please check that out. The review. Don't check out the movie. The movie's ass. It's on Netflix, so if you want to. Quentin's doing some swimming, and then swimmer's itch apparently hits him really goddamn hard. He gets drugged down and then has this weird dream sequence where he suddenly wakes up in a weird cesspool that is by an abandoned factory outside of town. This sounds like Springfield. Like, literally everything is just about a 10-minute drive away. It's insane. Just they don't have the dynamic characters like The Simpsons used to have. So he basically gets killed by being burned alive, and then he runs at Quentin, and then Quentin wakes up. And, well, it's like he's trying to get me to find something. What the hell is he trying to get me to find? Oh, no, he's not doing that. He's trying to basically kill you. You fucking idiots. And then, well, we were five. We wouldn't have said anything. He says to his dad, who was, Clancy Brown, I believe is the guy's name. Clancy Brown. I forgot. He has glorious hair in this. He's a good character actor. And then Quentin and Nancy are trying to go find answers. They're trying to go to this preschool. And then she sees a body bag, doing Body Bag Musical, which would have been better than the most recent High School Musical. And they just drive out to this preschool. And then all of a sudden but before that, they go to this pharmacy. Yelling at the pharmacist is always a good way to not draw attention to yourself. And he can't get a refill on his sleep deprivation medication. So he gets the needles of adrenaline that he steals because Nancy gets stabbed by Freddy, and then a piece of sweater comes with him. Like, oh, she has the power. She's got the power. Check out the power on on Shudder, by the way. Really good stuff. Wake up, you're bleeding. So they panic. He takes the needles and stuff like that. Good, sign this. Because Nancy gets taken to the hospital first. And then the doctor wants to basically take care of the pain because she's slashed on her arm. Then she escapes. They have a heart-to-heart and they go to the goddamn high school. Or the preschool, that is. They could have gone to a high school. I really wouldn't have fucking cared at this point. They could have gone anywhere. They could have gone to the goddamn high school in Haddonfield, and Michael Myers could have gotten to them. Would have made the movie a whole lot better. Anyway, the new Swamp Jeep Cherokee. 50% more protection from swamp rats coming from Jeep. And then they find the preschool, which is somehow so dilapidated, yet somehow so intact, that the windows and everything are still fine. It's dusty, but a little bit of cleanup and a little bit of lemon pledge. No. That would have taken care of it. Oh, they find the room with drawings that are intact somehow. Oh, I've been here before. It turns out that Nancy had a lot of photos taken of her. Yeah, those kind of photos. Gross. They didn't show the photos, and that's a good thing. Anyway, he wanted us here because we told the truth. And wake me up if you see me struggle. Yet when I say that, and then he falls asleep too, despite taking one of the blades from that paper cutter thing in school, and has that. But he then gets basically gets slashed, tag, you're it, and then he goes after Nancy in the boiler room. It's not real. It's real. I'm real. And we get a bloody hallway. It's like, how's this for a wet dream? They tried the frickin' puns. By this point, it was a lost cause. Blood in the ceiling. Why not try to recreate the whole goddamn thing of blood pouring into the ceiling, or, pouring onto the ceiling from the bed? Only worse. Infinitely fucking worse. And your memories are what feeds me. I thought it was fear, but whatever. And let's just have Freddy be, caricature at this point, but just a bad caricature and, version of Robert Englund. And then she gets, taken, or she manages to bring him out just when Quentin wakes up and sticks her full of adrenaline, and then they kill Freddy there. And then Freddy's all dead, and she slashes off his claw hand and cuts his neck, and he bleeds out and everything. And it's over. The nightmare is over. And then they have Nancy's mother bring her home, and then they try to recreate the whole thing of being pulled through the door, except they have Freddy drag her through the window and pull her back and everything, and that's it. And yeah, sequel hook. God, I hope not. That's it. That's it. Fuck this movie. Fuck everybody for being involved. No, that's unfair. Fuck anybody that thought this was a good idea. Actually, just fuck Michael Bay. Fuck the fact that he ever got into filmmaking. Anyway, agree, disagree what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.